Have you ever pondered if one man can change the course of history? Julius Caesar did. But how? Born into the patrician family line known as the Cesars, Julius Caesar, a man of humble beginnings, was no ordinary Roman. His family, though noble, was not wealthy or influential. Yet, the spark of ambition ignited early within him. As a young man, he quickly realized that the path to power in Rome was through military success and political alliances. Caesar's first taste of battle came when he served as a military tribune in Asia Minor. His courage and leadership in the face of adversity caught the attention of his superiors, and his political career began to take shape. His early military career was marked by daring exploits and strategic brilliance, and he quickly rose through the ranks of the Roman military. But it wasn't just his military prowess that set him apart. Caesar was a shrewd political operator. He understood the complexities of the Roman political system and knew how to navigate its intricate web of alliances and rivalries. He was known for his charisma, his eloquence, and his ability to win over both the masses and the elite. Caesar's rise to power truly began with the formation of the First Triumvirate, a political alliance with two other powerful Romans: Crassus, a wealthy businessman, and Pompey, a successful general. This alliance allowed Caesar to achieve his political ambitions and marked the beginning of his dominance in Roman politics. Yet, the triumvirate was not without its challenges. Jealousies and rivalries soon surfaced, and the alliance began to crumble. Despite these setbacks, Caesar remained undeterred. His ambition was unwavering, and he was determined to rise to the top, no matter the cost. Julius Caesar, a man of humble beginnings, rose through the ranks, forever changing the landscape of Rome. His early life and career set the stage for his later achievements and his unprecedented impact on the course of history. But as we'll see, his journey was not without its trials and tribulations. Imagine for a moment leading thousands of men into unknown territories, battling unknown foes. Julius Caesar didn't just imagine it, he lived it. The year was 58 BC when Caesar embarked on his campaign in Gaul. This was no mere military excursion, but a decade-long saga that showcased his strategic brilliance. Caesar was not just a general. He was a mastermind, a tactician whose genius lay in his ability to turn the tide of battle in his favor, no matter the odds. In Gaul, Caesar faced fierce resistance from tribes that would not easily bow to Roman might. But Caesar, with his keen understanding of human nature and warfare, knew how to exploit the divisions among these tribes. He played them against each other, and in doing so, he brought the entirety of Gaul under Roman control. But Caesar's ambitions did not stop there. In a move that stunned his contemporaries, he led his army across the Rhine directly into Germanic territories. This was more than a military maneuver. It was a statement. Caesar was letting Rome and the world know that the Rhine was not a barrier to Roman expansion. His next conquest was Britain. This was a place shrouded in mystery, a land that was, at that time, at the edge of the known world. But Caesar, undeterred by the unknown, led the first Roman invasion of Britain. Although the campaign was not an outright success, it was a psychological victory. It demonstrated that even the distant isles of Britain were within Rome's reach. Each of these campaigns not only expanded Rome's territories, but also its influence and prestige. They brought wealth and slaves to Rome, strengthening its economy. They also brought Caesar unparalleled fame and power. His victories were celebrated in Rome with grand triumphs, processions that paraded the spoils and captives of war. Caesar's military genius expanded the Roman Empire, solidifying his place in history. His audacious campaigns were unprecedented, changing the course of Roman history and leaving an indelible mark on the world. Power can be intoxicating, and for Julius Caesar, it was no different. Having conquered far-off lands and led his armies to victory, Caesar's return to Rome was met with a hero's welcome. His popularity was soaring, and he parlayed this into political success. He was appointed Dictator Perpetuo, or Dictator in Perpetuity, a title unheard of in Roman history. This effectively made him the ruler of Rome for life, a position of unfathomable power. But Caesar didn't just rest on his laurels, he set about making changes. He implemented a series of sweeping reforms in an attempt to make Rome a better place for its citizens. He restructured the Roman calendar, introduced measures to alleviate the city's debt crisis, and enacted laws to redistribute land to the poor. He sought to create a Rome that was fairer, more prosperous, and more powerful than ever before. His decisions were popular amongst the common people, who saw in Caesar a leader who cared for their well-being. But these changes also ruffled feathers in the Roman Senate. Many senators saw Caesar's actions as overreaching, a blatant disregard for the Senate's authority. The tension in the Senate was palpable, a simmering pot of resentment and fear. Caesar's rule was marked by an audacious display of power, a show of strength that was both admired and despised. His audacity was his strength, but it was also his Achilles' heel. His actions, though popular with the masses, were seen as a direct threat to the established order, and this made him many enemies. In the eyes of the Senate, Caesar was becoming too powerful, too popular, and too dangerous. His rule was a radical departure from the Roman tradition of shared power, and this did not sit well with the senators. They saw in Caesar a potential king, a threat to the Roman Republic, and their fears began to take root. Julius Caesar, the unprecedented ruler of Rome, was a man both loved and feared. His reign was a time of great change, a time when Rome was transformed under his rule. But it was also a time of growing tension, a time when the seeds of his downfall were being sown. What happens when fear overpowers respect? It leads to the unthinkable, the assassination of a ruler. Let's delve into the grim tale of Julius Caesar's fall. As Caesar's power grew, so did the unease among the senators of Rome. His audacious actions, such as crossing the Rubicon and appointing himself as a perpetual dictator, had set a dangerous precedent. This was a man who had defied tradition, who had claimed power in ways Rome had never seen before. While some viewed Caesar as a visionary, others saw him as a threat to the Republic's very existence. The conspiracy against Caesar began to take shape in the shadows. It was a plot born of fear, as well as ambition. The conspirators were not just men who feared Caesar's power, but also those who coveted it. Among them were Brutus and Cassius, men Caesar considered allies and friends. Their motivations were complex, a tangled web of personal grievances, political ideology, and raw ambition. What does it mean to leave a legacy? For Julius Caesar, it meant changing the course of history. The tale of Julius Caesar is one of power and betrayal, ambition and tragedy. Born into an aristocratic Roman family, Caesar climbed the ranks of Rome's political hierarchy through a mix of military prowess and strategic alliances. His military conquests were legendary, stretching the Roman Empire from Gaul to Egypt. Caesar's audacious victories on the battlefield earned him unparalleled admiration and respect. His troops were fiercely loyal, and his leadership brought Rome to the pinnacle of its power. Yet it was his ambition that set him apart. His audacity to cross the Rubicon, a direct challenge to the Roman Senate, marked the beginning of his ascent to ultimate power. As the ruler of Rome, Caesar brought about significant reforms. He centralized the bureaucracy of the Republic and was magnanimous in his rule, often pardoning his enemies. He launched a series of political and social reforms and even introduced a new calendar, the Julian calendar, which remains in use today. Such was the impact of his rule. Yet, power breeds envy and fear. And for Caesar, it brought about his tragic end. The Roman Senate, threatened by his growing power, conspired against him. On the Ides of March, Caesar was assassinated, betrayed by those he thought his allies. But death did not end Caesar's influence. In his will, he adopted his grandnephew Octavian, who would later become Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Caesar's life and rule set the stage for the Roman Empire's shift from republic to empire. Julius Caesar, a man of ambition, power, and tragedy, left a legacy that continues to echo through the annals of history. His story stands as a timeless tale of power and betrayal, a testament to the heights and depths of human ambition. His legacy, written in the pages of history, continues to shape our understanding of one of the greatest empires the world has ever seen.